Set in the Chilterns area of outstanding natural beauty, Mill End forms part of the Hambleden Valley, which depicts the classic Chilterns countryside. With a mosaic of working farmland and woodland, the area has a lot to offer the hiker by making for an interesting and varied walk. The area is easily reached from the M40 motorway and is only a few miles south of Junction 4. Starting at the Mill End free car park, the walk takes us through a field showing us the beautiful hillside views as we head towards the direction of Hambleden. Turning right well before the village, the walk starts to climb, giving us some great views of the valley. The walk continues to rise through Northcott Wood before reaching a quiet country lane. The route heads back into the country and then through Hatcham's Wood before reaching the quiet hamlet of Rotten Row. Crossing wide open fields, the walk descends into Heath Wood before rising again, giving us some great views of the surrounding countryside. As we head towards Hambleden village itself, we pass through meadows and green pastures to eventually arrive at the medieval church of St Mary's in Hambleden village. Shortly thereafter, the walk finishes in the village centre. Heading into our first field, one is greeted immediately with the beautiful landscape of the Chilterns, which beckons the walker onwards and upwards into this area of outstanding natural beauty. With the small Hambleden brook meandering through the village and beyond, it leads us upwards towards our next waypoint, where we start to head into the woods onto the hillsides. To the left, we get a glimpse of our final destination of Hambleden village, being watched over by its medieval church of St Mary's. But with at least 8 kilometres of the walk ahead of us, it will be a couple of hours before we arrive there. From waypoint 4 onwards, we are pretty much in and out of the woods on a steady ascent, with the walk flattening out at waypoint 7. Here, you are amidst a busy working farm area, and the lane, at least at the time I was there, was busy with farm traffic. As we continue across open farmland, we enter Heath Wood, descending steeply from waypoint 10. On a day like this, these woods provided a welcome relief from the sun, so potentially could be a good place for a lunch stop if you're walking in the summer months. But do bear in mind, these woods in particular had many protruding tree roots, which caught me out on a few occasions as I was passing through. Shortly before filming this particular scene, this quiet lane was busy with farm traffic, tractors, log movers and just about every mechanical farm device known to man, passing up and down. But I think the scene looks better without it. This is as good a place to stop as any. It seems to be quite a popular walk with the dog walkers. I can see why. It's very open. You know, you can let your dog off the leash, etc. But there's quite a bit of woodland here as well, which makes for quite a varied walk, especially on a warm day such as today. Provides a little bit of shaded relief. There's a little bit of wildlife as well. You can certainly hear it as you're going through the woods. So makes for a very pleasant walk indeed. Just a few metres after waypoint 10, where you had stepped out onto a narrow country lane, waypoint 11 leads you down a short but very steep incline to the bottom of the wood at waypoint 12. The track here is wide and bends round to the left. However, you need to veer off to the right towards the northeastern edge of the wood towards waypoint 13 to what was described on the route instructions as a nice view. I in fact just followed the wide track to the top and then scrambled through brambles towards waypoint 14, missing the described view altogether. I wouldn't recommend.
made a bit of an error. Waypoint 13 is actually on a slightly different track up there, a couple of 100 metres up there, which I think it kind of takes me on the perimeter of the wood down a couple of 100 metres to waypoint 14, which is down there. So it's getting late now, so I'm just going to head straight to waypoint 14.
From waypoint 15, we're descending towards Pheasants Hill through fairly dense woodland to eventually turn left towards our final destination of Hambleden. There is a short stretch of an electrified fence on this particular part of the track, so be wary and keep a lookout for any signs as such, which are certainly not obvious. If you've walked this stretch of the track before in the last couple of years, you will have noticed that the track has widened considerably. In fact, in my Hambleden skirmish walk of 2010, I was barely able to squeeze past this section. In fact, today I only recognised this path from before because of the monster hedge thingy behind me. Having made it to Hambleden, you're welcomed by the sight of the 12th century church of St Mary, seen just to the left in the background behind the tree. In the village, there is a pub and a couple of shops should you feel the need for refreshment, but instead I headed towards the Church of St Mary. The Norman church had a central tower which collapsed in 1703, and a new tower was built at the west end in 1721 and heightened in the early 1880s. The tower holds 8 bells. The oldest is one of the very few pre-Reformation bells still in use and may have first been rung at about the time of the victory at Agincourt in 1415. Once you've reached Hambleden, you've completed this 9-kilometre Chilterns walk, which is certainly one for the summer. Thanks for watching.